Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fluenzo English. Today's conversation is all about something very simple, but very important, your everyday life. Life gets busy sometimes. Messages, deadlines, plans, notifications, everything happening at once. But right now, you are here. So slow down for a moment and relax with this conversation. Today, we are going to talk about how to describe your day in a more natural and expressive way. A lot of English learners say things like, "My day was fine. I worked. I slept." And those sentences are correct. But natural English is not only about correct grammar. It is also about emotion, detail, and rhythm. Instead of only saying what happened, natural speakers also describe how the day felt. The morning stress. The busy work hours. The tired afternoon brain. The quiet evening feeling. That is what makes English sound more real and alive. So in today's episode, we are going to explore all of that together in a calm and natural way. And later, we will also look at some very useful phrases and conversation starters that can help you speak more naturally in daily conversations. All right. Let's begin with a simple question. How was your day? A lot of people answer with one word. Fine. Okay. Busy. But usually, there is a much bigger story hiding behind those small words. For example, maybe someone says, "My day was okay." But maybe the truth is, they slept badly, felt stressed in the morning, rushed through work, and finally relaxed late at night. That is a real story. And when you learn how to explain those small moments, your English starts sounding much more natural. So let's imagine a real day together. Sometimes the mood of the day actually starts the night before. Maybe you go to bed at a normal time. You turn off the lights. You close your eyes. But your brain refuses to rest. Your body is in bed, but your thoughts are still active. You keep thinking about conversations, problems, plans, and unfinished tasks. You toss and turn for a long time. You check the time. Then regret checking the time. And suddenly it feels like the night is moving too fast. Then morning arrives. Your eyes open, but the rest of your body still feels asleep. Your alarm rings. You turn it off. You close your eyes for one more second. And suddenly you almost doze off again. That one more minute feeling is very dangerous sometimes. 1 minute can quickly become 20 minutes. And when the morning starts like that, the whole day can feel different. You feel on edge. Not completely calm. Not completely relaxed. Maybe your phone sounds too loud. Maybe your coffee takes too long. Even small things feel annoying for no clear reason. And this is important for speaking natural English. Instead of only saying, "My morning was bad," you can explain the feeling behind it. You can say, "To be honest, my morning started rough. I tossed and turned all night and woke up feeling on edge." That sounds much more real and expressive. And honestly, mornings are emotional for many people. Some mornings feel calm and peaceful. Other mornings feel rushed before your feet even touch the floor. Sometimes your brain starts running before your body is fully awake. And because of that, many people try to create small morning habits that help them feel more balanced. Maybe they avoid checking their phone immediately. Maybe they sit quietly for 1 minute. Maybe they drink coffee slowly before starting work. Small actions can completely change the feeling of the morning. And then comes the next part of the day. Work. Or school. Or responsibilities. This is where simple words like busy suddenly feel too small again. Because some workdays are not just busy. Some days feel completely swamped. Messages arrive non-stop. Meetings change suddenly. Emails appear out of nowhere. You try to focus on one thing, but 5 new tasks appear immediately. And sometimes your brain feels overwhelmed because everything wants your attention at the same time. That is why phrases like swamped are so useful. Busy is normal. Swamped feels heavier. It feels like work is surrounding you from every direction. And during moments like this, many people realize something important. You cannot fight the entire day at once. You have to slow down and focus on one thing at a time. That is where another useful phrase appears. Knuckle down. To knuckle down means to focus seriously and finally give your full attention to the task. Maybe you close unnecessary tabs. Maybe you silence notifications. Maybe you stop multitasking. And little by little, you start making progress again. The day is still busy, but now your mind feels more organized. And honestly, looking back on it later, those difficult workdays can sometimes feel satisfying. Not because they were easy, but because you handled them better than expected. That feeling matters. Then eventually comes the afternoon. For many people, this is the most difficult part of the day. The energy drops. The brain slows down. The screen feels too bright. And suddenly your body wants a break. Some people call this the afternoon fog. Your body is sitting at the desk. But mentally, you already left the building. Sometimes you almost feel like dozing off while listening to someone talk. And at that moment, your brain starts begging for rest. This is why breaks are important. Not lazy breaks. Real breaks. A short walk. Tea. Fresh air. A few quiet minutes without screens or notifications. A much-needed break can completely change the feeling of your afternoon. And many people slowly realize something important. Rest is not weakness. Rest can actually be strategy. Because when you never pause, your brain stays crowded all day long. And then at night, you cannot relax properly. You carry the stress of the day into your evening. That is why evenings matter too. Evenings decide how tomorrow begins. Some evenings feel peaceful immediately. You leave work. You walk home. You listen to music. And slowly, you feel more at ease. But other evenings are different. Your body leaves work. But your mind stays there. You replay conversations. You think about unfinished tasks. You remember the email you forgot to send. And if you do not slow down mentally, your brain stays active long into the night. That is why many people create small evening habits too. Maybe they stretch for a few minutes. Maybe they eat dinner without using their phone. Maybe they clean one small area of the room to make the space feel calmer. Small resets help the brain understand that the day is ending. And honestly, the best evenings are not always exciting. Sometimes the best evenings are simply the ones where you stop fighting the day. That is such a calm and natural feeling. And this is exactly what speaking naturally in English really means. You are not trying to sound impressive. You are simply describing real emotions, real moments, and real experiences. For example, instead of saying, "My day was busy," you can say, "To be honest, I felt on edge in the morning, got swamped at work, took a much-needed break in the afternoon, and finally felt more at ease in the evening." That sounds natural because it feels honest. And the good news is, you can do this too with your own daily life. You do not need a dramatic story. You only need one real feeling. One small moment. One honest detail. That is enough to create a real conversation. And now, let's look at a few very useful conversation starters that can help you answer the question, how was your day? The first one is, to be honest. This is perfect when you want to give a real answer instead of a short polite answer. For example, to be honest, my morning started rough. The second one is, funnily enough. This is useful when something surprising happened. For example, funnily enough, I thought the day would be terrible, but it ended peacefully. Another great phrase is out of nowhere. This helps you describe sudden situations. For example, out of nowhere, my plans completely changed. And another useful expression is looking back on it. This sounds thoughtful and reflective. For example, looking back on it, I handled the pressure better than I expected. And finally, all in all. This is perfect for summarizing the entire day. For example, all in all, it was a tiring day, but I feel good about it. These small expressions make your English sound much more natural and conversational. And now let's quickly review some useful vocabulary from today. Toss and turn. This means you cannot sleep peacefully and keep moving in bed. Doze off. This means to fall asleep lightly for a short time. On edge. This means feeling tense or emotionally unsettled. At ease. This means calm and relaxed. Swamped. Very busy and overwhelmed with tasks. Knuckle down. To focus seriously on work. Much needed break. A break your body or mind truly needed. These are all expressions that native speakers use naturally in daily life. So try choosing one or two phrases that feel useful for your own conversations. And remember, your English does not need to be perfect. Confidence grows slowly. One sentence at a time. One conversation at a time. One honest moment at a time. So next time someone asks, "How was your day?" Try not to stop at fine. Add one feeling. One detail. One real moment. That small change can turn a short answer into a meaningful conversation. Thank you so much for listening today. Keep practicing. Keep noticing the small details in your daily life. And keep building your English naturally, step by step. I'll see you in the next lesson.